Today I want to talk about a topic that I've been struggling with and that I had to overcome, and that is an imposter syndrome. So how do you overcome imposter syndrome? So if you ever felt like you're not good enough, or that you don't deserve success, or that others will find out that maybe you're not as smart as you pretend to be, you're not alone. Many creators and many business owners, friends that I talk to, they're in the realm of marketing, they have these feelings and they're struggling with this, even if your qualification and experience can back everything up. For me, I think imposter syndrome started more so a little bit earlier because, again, I grew up in Germany and then I moved to the US, so English wasn't my first language. And sometimes when English is not your first language, people already think because you have an accent or you don't understand certain things, especially at the beginning of learning a new language, they make you feel less credible. And I think some of these comments that I received over the years kind of got to me, especially in the early ages, thinking that, oh, maybe I can't do it. Although I can, but you think you have struggles, you have doubts. So for me, the challenges were really feeling like I have to prove myself over and over again, especially when English isn't my first language. It's easy to feel like people are silently judging you for every word you're using, for every mispronunciation, or for like small grammatical errors. And again, I've been in situations before where I used the wrong word or I misphrased something, and instead of focusing on the message, people focus more on the mistake. It made me feel less credible, and you have to work twice as hard. And for me, it wasn't just the language barrier. In the early stages of my career, it was also doing job interviews or client pitches, presentations, where I felt slightly overwhelmed. Especially during those presentations or pitches, I felt the pressure to be there, to know it all, to have the answers to it all. And I was worried that I couldn't instantly recall a specific statistics or explain something perfectly or explain the entire concept on the spot. And I was fearing that I would be seen as unqualified. And then also, of course, the pressure that I feel right now. I'm a chief marketing officer in my day-to-day business. And when you're a CMO, when you are also a business owner, people expect that you have a deep understanding of everything that is going on in marketing, that you know every data point, that you know every analytics from the top of your head. But marketing isn't black and white. Marketing has different shades of gray, purple, pink. It changes constantly. And of course, you have to stay on top of it, but you can't have the answers to it all. Trends are shifting, algorithms are shifting, and sometimes there isn't just one answer. There isn't a clear-cut answer. Yet, I've encountered situations where I was asked, why are things not instantaneous? So, for example, when it comes to generating leads for clients, or when a campaign is not generating or producing a lot of tractions in the first couple of days, especially people that are not involved in marketing always think that as soon as you push a button or you publish something, it should be instant. And especially when you talk to clients, or clients are hitting you up, they're calling you out of the blue or they're emailing you out of the blue, sometimes you feel the immediate pressure to instantly respond to them and to have the perfect answer. Sometimes when you don't, it almost feels like you're unprepared, you don't really know what's going on, and then kind of like this fear creeps in that, like, well, should I have known this on the tip of my tongue? Should I have known about the campaign I launched 2 weeks ago for a certain client? And the reality is, no one has all the answers on the spot. So the answer is no, you do not need to know that from the tip of your tongue. But the imposter syndrome just creeps in and it convinces you that you must be a fraud, so to speak. And then, of course, everyone who's struggling with imposter syndrome, at least from conversations I had with other people, there's also fear of public speaking or putting yourself out there. And I struggled a lot with putting myself out there. And when I say putting myself out there, it's meaning reaching out to people you want to conduct business with, posting more vulnerable videos online, really letting people into your journey of running your own company. And when it comes to public speaking, there is no pause button. It's not like this YouTube video where I can restart the same sentence 3 times, pause it and edit it out. But when you speak live on stage, when you are a guest somewhere, there is no pause button, there is no rewind button. It really requires you to think on the spot or to answer questions on the spot. And at the beginning, this made me very nervous. It was always my dream. I always want to speak live. I want to speak on conferences. I want to do public speaking on stages. I love teaching people marketing and content marketing and how you can grow your business. I love to share my experiences and I want to help other people. What fears me is really questions that I feel like I can answer. When it comes to marketing questions, I know I can answer your marketing questions, but there's always this 1% of doubt. What if there's one particular question that I can't answer? And a lot of times that kept me away from opportunities that were presented to me. And I was thinking like, should I do this? Should I not do this? And I'm telling you, you have to do it. You will never be ready. You will never be ready for a new job. You will never be ready to be a guest on someone's podcast. You will never be ready to speak in front of an audience if you don't try. And of course, overcoming imposter syndrome. So whether it's if you're looking for a new job and you read through the job requirements and you feel like, I can't really do this, or if you want to be invited as a guest, or if you want to look for new business, imposter syndrome doesn't go away overnight. We have to actively work on it. But over time, I found strategies that really helped me to push past the doubt and confidently move forward. And that is really relying on data instead of perfection. One of the biggest mindset shifts for me was that I don't need to have all the answers right away, that I can look at the data, or I can look when a campaign launched and then get back to the person to provide all the data. I don't need to reply instantly to an email or to a text message, but rather take a second, digest all the data, and then come back with the correct answer rather than shooting from the hips. So if I get a question asked where I don't know the exact answer, or I rather look at the data and then provide the correct answer, I usually tell the person, that's a great question and I want to give you the most accurate answer. So let me double check on that and then I'll follow up, I'll get back to you. Not knowing something doesn't mean that you're unqualified. It just means that you care about your work and you don't want to guess, but you rather want to go back at your data and look at it. What also helped me is just letting go of this whole you need to sound perfect perfectionism. For a long time, I thought that my videos or anything that I put out online needs to be extremely polished, extremely flawless, and it needs to be perfectly scripted. But that's not the truth. People don't resonate with perfectly scripted things. People connect if you're vulnerable. People connect with raw emotions because they can put themselves into someone else's shoes, and that's how you really build connections. So now I allow myself to mispronounce a word, and I don't edit it out, or I try to make a joke. And I just try to be more myself on camera. And of course, this also takes time, it takes practice, it doesn't come overnight. So if you are also recording videos and you feel a bit silly doing this and you're like, oh my God, I don't even like to hear my own voice, this will go way over time. You just have to continue doing it. At the end of the day, the people who consume your videos, they watch your videos because they have a connection with you, they resonate with your content, they resonate with the value you're providing. For any speaking gig or any live on social media, before it like freaked me out. I get like really high anxiety speaking. But when you have a structure in place, so when you just go over a presentation multiple times and really know what you're talking about, when you have bullet points, when you have a structure, maybe you have little reading cards, all of this can really ease you into speaking, into putting yourself out there, and it really helped me as well. So before I go live or I join a podcast where I'm a guest on, I first of all usually ask for a dry run, like, can we go through all the questions so I can be prepared? Can you show me the questions? And that usually already helps. I think what really gives someone anxiety, if you're being put in the unknown and don't know what you're talking about, or when you attend a conference or you are a speaker somewhere or you're invited to a podcast, there's usually an outline or structure what they want you to present on or talk about. And of course, you also have to simply push through the fear. I've wanted to wait and be like, one day I feel ready, but honestly, that is just another excuse. The only way to become a better marketer, a better content creator, a better speaker, a better entrepreneur is to do things that scare you. So there's a circle, and this is your comfort circle. Within this circle, you feel extremely comfortable. And then there's a little layer outside, and this is the uncomfortableness. But every time you leave your comfort zone, you grow. Every time you expose yourself to something that scares you, you grow. Every time you overcome your fear, you grow just a little bit. So for me, putting myself out there, meaning being a guest on someone else's podcast or speaking somewhere or reaching out to clients I want to work with, before I was very hesitant about it, and now I'll just do it. The only answer you might get is a no, or maybe, you're not getting re-invited to that podcast because you didn't really like a segment, but at least you put yourself out there. And it's the same when you look for a new job. Obviously, maybe you don't like the place that you're working at right now and you want to do something different, but you don't feel like you're good enough, or you read at the job descriptions and feel like, that's not really me, I can't do it. You will never know if you don't try. So apply for the job, start working somewhere else. Leaving your comfort zone is always difficult, but when you look back in retrospect, you are extremely proud of yourself that you've done that, that you've accomplished that, and you will experience immense growth. So whether it's if you are full-time employed and you want to change something, if you want to finally start that side gig that you always dreamed of, or if you're a full-time entrepreneur, just don't really know how to approach things, facing that fear is really how we all grow. So for me, I've committed to reaching out to clients on a monthly basis. I have a number of people that I want to contact. I want to push myself to be a little bit more vulnerable online. Saying yes to any media increase, for me to be featured on a magazine or to be a podcast, and not to overthink it so much. So if you're struggling with imposter syndrome, know that you're not alone. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough, it means you care. And the key is really to push forward and not let fear hold you back, because trust me, you have the experience, you just keep on moving forward. And I hope this episode helped you to see a little bit what other people are struggling with. I hope it helped you to maybe get a different angle on how to overcome imposter syndrome, or really that a lot of entrepreneurs are sitting in the same boat. And if you want to continue that conversation, if you want to reach out to me and chat about imposter syndrome or how you overcome it, or what fears and things you're struggling with, you can reach out to me at nina@thesocialwisdom.com. You can find me online at The Social Wisdom. I know this video was a little bit different than what I usually publish here, but I thought this was something that I just wanted to get off my chest. And I'm very glad that you tuned in today, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Until then, goodbye, or how we say in Germany, auf Wiedersehen.